which is starting right now. Wow, wow, wow. Here we are in Alcyone in game number 1 of this best of 3. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner, we've got Talons, Dark. And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner, in the blue, it's NightMare. Whoa. Sorry about that. Don't really know what happened there. You guys can consider checking out our Patreon to support the KSL. Also, check out the Matcherino. We have free codes in there to just add 25 cents to the prize pool. Any little stuff like that helps. Or if you're like, you know, I don't want to sign up for $5 a month, even though I'll get all the free replays. But maybe I could put $5 into just one prize pool. You can do that in Matcherino as well. Or you just hang out and watch. You know, make sure to hit the follow button. Hit the subscribe button. You know, all those good buttons. Whether you're watching my channel or any of the other ones covering this lovely event. We do have Steadfast in here most weeks with us. Dave Testa also helps us run this tournament and casts it. Wow! Teddy Triple! Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Wow.
Of justice, evildoers beware.
Oh, that alert is so quiet.
Goodness is coming to a town near you.
But thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. The Mexter, Helkth, Ryan Victors, NV Parlagy. Wow. And Running Wild. All getting gifted subs. Teddy Triple. What a hero. It's a great way to support. But all right. Let's cast some StarCraft here. Should focus on this game a little bit since it is a dark game, so I got to be careful. Sometimes I'll talk a bunch at the beginning of a dark game, and it'll be like, wait a minute. Why are his drones running across the map? You just never know with dark what's about to happen.
Chickenman, Chickenman, Chickenman.
It's important to keep tabs on it. Colin MJ, thank you for the Prime sub. Hot diggity. Look at all this support. Y'all are lovely. What happens when I don't stream for like 2 weeks? Come back and people are just being amazing? I should stream more often. Imagine that world. I actually got really excited by the Stormgate update that came out today. I don't know if you guys have been following that too much, but there's a lot of really interesting stuff, and I don't know. I'm starting to feel myself get excited for that game, which is a nice feeling. I don't often get super excited for games, but Stormgate's hitting that spot for me right now. I'm stoked on it. Yes, thank you for the Bezos bucks. NightMare getting a couple of drones there. Be uncharacteristic of Dark to let that happen, but good plays from NightMare. We have seen Dark be susceptible to some of the early Adept Oracle harassment before. He's usually pretty good about it, but in the hands of an expert player, it can be pretty tough to deal with. NightMare even getting the larva that tried to turn into an Overlord. But all pretty standard so far. Nothing too crazy. Even Dark not giving us anything too crazy so far in this game. Funnily enough, we did see Dark lose earlier on to a... he didn't lose to the Cannon Rush, but he was Cannon Rushed. Took a bunch of damage and ended up losing that game to a Rebellion. So, I don't know. Maybe NightMare needs to brush up on his Cannon Rushing. I don't think that Overlord's going to be able to get out of there. Stays alive for a little while. At least gives Dark enough time to get another Overlord out. And it's +1 melee on the way here for Dark as he starts up the lair. So gonna be, at least for now, sticking with some Lings. The Oracles are able to pop a queen. Might be able to force a cancel on this hatchery. There's another queen coming down to try to stop this. But now she's in danger. I don't know. She's got some friends. She's got some friends. And I think the Oracles are going to have to run away. Can they force the cancel first? Yes, they can. And NightMare keeps all three alive. Damn, NightMare's playing some good StarCraft today. This is a nice opening for NightMare. That's a hard thing to get against Dark. And of course, the blink and +1 follow-up here. A lot of gateways going down for NightMare. He's about to throw down 2 more even. That tells me he wants to just go hard on the Stalkers. It's a good strat. It's a good strat. I like that strat. That does mean the +1 melee Lings from Dark are going to be quite nice, though. They deal a good amount of damage against Stalkers. Stalkers are pretty fragile units. And already the Infestation Pit on the way. We know Dark loves to go very quickly to Hive. Did also see him earlier get some Infestors out to try to deal with the Blink Stalkers. Didn't really work in that game. I think it was because he was so low eco and he was just trying to get whatever he could going to deal with the attack. But I still think some Infestors could be really nice at helping to deal with Blink Stalkers. But it is going to be that Hive going down right now. Baneling Nest on the way as well. And Burrow. Dark just getting all the good stuff. Getting all the juicy stuff. This gold base might be in some trouble, though. The Lings are not really out front to deal with these Stalkers. They're going to swarm in now. Stalkers are going to blink backwards. Nice split off there from Dark. Triggering that stasis trap on just 2 Lings. The Oracle is going to turn on to help out. Dealing with these Lings for the Stalkers. But then the Queens are here as well. Bit of a back and forth. As more Lings on the way for Dark. 40 more Zerglings being made. These Oracles only have so much energy on them. They can only do so much damage to the Lings. And NightMare's Stalker army is starting to get kind of low here. Queens, though, taking some hits. But they can transfuse each other and stay alive for a long time. Here come those reinforcement Lings. More Stalkers getting warped in right now, but the Oracles, they are out of juice. So it's just on the Stalkers to deal with all of these Zerglings, and I feel like the Lings are starting to make a little bit of headway on the Stalker number. But as I say that, NightMare does some fancy blink micro, keeps a few of these low hit point Stalkers alive. And as we know, low hit point Stalkers do the same amount of damage as high hit point Stalkers. Which is a bit of a problem if you can't quite kill those Stalkers. Now there's some Lings on the backside, Broodlings on the front, some Queens in here as well. NightMare, though, still going to take a nice trade and back up. And now look at that supply. I didn't even realize Dark has just been trading out so many units, bleeding out Lings. He's going to morph some Banes, but Dark is in a desperate spot. He just lost his gold. Does have another base to send those drones to, and this one is nearly done, but that one is also next on the list of bases to kill. And NightMare, he's got Colossi coming out behind this. They're not going to be over here yet for a little while, but they could absolutely make their way across the map and join up with this army, and the Lings and Banes are going to have a very tough time dealing with that. Dark may have gone too quickly into Hive. He's trying to get an Ultralisk out, but it's not going to have chitinous plating. And Stalkers, they don't really take that much damage from Banelings anymore. I don't know. Dark is in some trouble. This base is gone now as well. This one getting hit by a few Adepts down here. Link's trying to get on top of these Stalkers, but with the Blink Micro and the Warp Prism Micro, that's just too much. NightMare is going to take game number 1 with a big old push. Lots of Blink Stalkers coming in, and Dark just not able to handle it with the +1 Lings. GG. Telling you guys, NightMare and Dark, they gave us some good series. It's one of those where I feel like once upon a time I would have just been like, Dark's just kind of going to win. I don't think that's the case anymore. Turns out NightMare is pretty good at this game. GG. All right. The casters from the other match are joining us now as Cure versus Cyan is done. Not sure who won that. I'm guessing Cure, but today's a day of upsets. I'm not going to make any assumptions here. You really don't know. Honestly, NightMare beating Dark would be an upset as well. NightMare is quite strong, but with Dark losing to anybody lower rated than him on a Ligulac is absolutely an upset. All right, let's get into game number 2 here. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we've got Talon's Dark. And his opponent in the upper left, up 1-0, looking to get to the finals. It's NightMare. Yes, our other casters are in here now. The Cranky Ducklings back to casting some KSL. For a little while, Light was in the wrong time zone to be able to cast KSL. This is at an abysmal time for the European audience, so I apologize. You're in Europe, and this is a difficult tournament to watch for you. I understand. If you're in Europe and you are watching, congrats on the sleep schedule, I guess. It's either really bad or really good. You either an early to bed, early to rise kind of person, or you're just a complete and utter degenerate, in which case, either way, I'm proud of you. Or you're going to watch these matches on YouTube later on, which, you know, that's pretty dope too. Ooh! NightMare trying to kill that drone, pulls all the probes, but the drone just squeezes on through and builds the extractor. So annoying. Cancels and rebuilds. Dark wants to build, or I guess he wanted to build a hatch. But I guess now he wants to use this drone to scout, I'm guessing. But he could just let it be an extractor. Maybe not the best value to gas steal, but could do it. He's just going to cancel and rebuild a bunch of times. How many times can he cancel and rebuild that gas, you think? There's already the 3rd extractor. Can he do 4? Can we go for 4, Dark? Nope, he's going to let it go. 3rd time's a charm. Nice. Ooh, can the pro block the hatchery, though? That's cute. Pro blocking the hatchery, and the Adept is going to come in now as well to make sure this continues to get blocked, at least for a little while. Ooh, the Adept trying to catch the drone going to the other side. But Dark outmaneuvers him. Gets his original 3rd base down. NightMare going to drop the Robo. Robo opening against Zerg. Ooh. I feel like that is not what I'm used to seeing here. We'll see if Dark sends this Overlord in to scout. There's a Stalker about to pop, so yeah, might go back to the pillar instead. But that means Dark's not necessarily going to know what he's up against. The extractor does not have the vision to see this. Imagine if it did. Imagine if extractors could just see the whole main. That would be ridiculous. If the Robo finishes, we still don't have a Twilight Council or anything. It's going to be a Robo Bay from NightMare. Oh my god. Links come over to see if there's a 3rd. There isn't one. Doesn't see anything apart from a couple of Adepts. And he sees the Stalker in the main base hitting his extractor. But that's it. Dark does not have a lot of information here about what he's dealing with. And that it's going to be, I'm assuming, Disruptor drops. Unless NightMare has a crazy other plan in mind, but that Warp Prism popping, usually this is going to be Disruptor drops. However, that does give Dark a little bit of time to just kind of do his own thing. And Dark's own thing is roaches because he's Dark. And he's not really sure what he's up against. And I think this is a tough thing for Dark. He's usually very good at scouting, getting lings in, or what have you. But he just hasn't really seen much. It can be really tough to figure out what your opponent's doing when you're just not getting the scouting info you need to get. Oh my god, it's a Colossus. NightMare. He's a crazy man. He's a crazy man. Oh, that observer in the wrong place at the wrong time will get taken out. Where's the Warp Prism? Okay, the Warp Prism is staying at home. So is this going to be a Colossus drop? There's no Thermal Lance on the way. It's a Disruptor follow-up. NightMare. Is this illegal? I don't know when the last time I saw a Colossus drop against Zerg was. Like, occasionally we would see it against Terran. But it looks like dropping is not really going to be a possibility here, as Dark is attacking with multiple Ravagers right now and a ton of Zerglings. And NightMare just needs to not die, and that's a tough thing. There are a couple of shield batteries here, but no Thermal Lance on this Colossus is so painful. Going for some fancy pickup micro, see if that Colossus can stay alive. Disruptor Nova does connect, but mostly just on Zerglings. And this one Colossus is doing its best. Can it stay alive? It is staying alive for now. 9 kills on it. The Ravager's starting to go down. Oh, the Biles hit the Prism, though. Which means I think this third base is probably just dead. Shield battery overcharge. Is it available? There's not enough energy. And he decides not to pop it. He doesn't actually have enough energy on that third base. But Dark is going to kill the third. And then back up, at least for now, consolidate some of his forces. He's got more drones on the way. Very low drone count attack. This Colossus is up to 19 kills. Blink is done on these Stalkers, so they should be able to get out of there. Ooh, it's a little bit dicey, though. Disruptor Nova goes out, tries to hit a Ravager. Maybe should have gone for the Lings, honestly. There's the Super Shield Battery to keep these units alive. As a new Prism pops out. NightMare looks like he just wants to try to retake this base. He knows that Dark's economy can't have been good behind that. Of course, he is up to 57 drones now, but there's no fourth base with this. You know, Dark he took a big economic hit in order to be able to do that attack. And NightMare going for the counterattack is insane, though. And he is just walking on all sorts of creep right now. I actually cannot believe he is going for this. This is wild. NightMare very confident in his Blink Stalker ability, but I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Oh, the Biles! As the Stalkers get surrounded by the Lings, he just can't get out of there. And even with the Colossus and the Warp Prism, most of those Stalkers go down, and Dark's got to be feeling great now. Maybe he was a little concerned before, but killing that many Stalkers, it makes just the rest of this so much easier. Now the Ling's going for a counterattack and to try to get on top of this third. They might just be able to go for the kill. I think if he just clicks this third base, it is dead. Oh, Disruptor, gotta be careful. And nice hot pickups. Dark does not get the cancel on the third. A bit unfortunate there. This kill, I think it was a couple of shield batteries building, but that's about it. Good micro from NightMare as well to keep the Disruptor and the Colossus safe. But now Dark has a ton of roaches out. Roach speed is finished up. He's about to have +1 melee as well, just to help these Lings out even more. And NightMare is playing with fire right now. His third base is finally up and running. But it feels like Dark has just such a massive lead. I want to see how many kills that Colossus has. Show me! Show me how many kills it has. I want to see. 37 kills on that bad boy. Gonna grab a creep tumor as well. Ooh, gets 2 of them. That's a big daddy Colossus right there. I don't know if he ever got Thermal Lance. No, it's a low range Colossus. He just doesn't have the range of all the other Colossi. His beams aren't as long, but you know, it's not all about length. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's about how you use it. And he's smart. He knows he can't just the Colossus on its own can't do it. So he's got the Warp Prison there just to help out. Dark up at 173 supply. More Lings on the way. Banelings being morphed. A ton of Banelings. And he is just going to go on in. Let's see if these Disruptor Novas can hold on. Oh my god, the Banelings from the backside. I think there's just too much Zerg here. The Disruptor's not getting the connections. Big Daddy Colossus, I don't think he's going to be enough on his own. Up to 44 kills. He's doing great. Can he get to 50? Maybe. Is it going to matter? I don't think so. Can he do it? 49? 49, get that 50th kill. Come on, bud. One more. I think he got it. 50 kills. All right, good work. Unfortunately, NightMare is dead with that Colossus. So there's the GG. But at least the Colossus got 50 kills. Dark evens up the series 1-1. A fun intro there for NightMare. Like a fun opening. Love a Colossus drop in theory. But I feel like NightMare fell into that trap that is so easy for a lot of Zergs to fall into, which is this build can be really good against Zergs. And then they use it on Dark. And it's like you're playing a different player. This is not Rogue or Serral or Raynor. Any of those Zergs. Dark is so likely to just build a bunch of roaches and attack you. You just have to be prepared for that possibility at any point in the game. For him to just try to kill you. And builds like that, like a Colossus opener, the Colossus drop opener, it just doesn't have those built-in fail-safes against that. You know, it's a bit of a risk, and I appreciate that NightMare's taking risks. He's up against Dark. But I feel like it's almost the wrong kind of risk to take. Like, ooh, I'll do some fancy harassment against you. That just completely dies if you do an early roach attack. Colossus has 51 kills and Dark only has 1 kill. It's true. That's true. That Colossus, the GOAT of the series. Look at that little face. He's so cute. He does every time I go to get water or go to the bathroom, he gets up just to see what's going on. Adorable. Absolutely adorable. I feel bad for interrupting his sleep. But he knows when I'm casting, he's like, I'm gonna go sleep. I'm gonna go nap while he's doing this. And then he'll come bother me afterwards. Alright, game number 3. We're all tied up. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Site Delta, we've got Talon's Dark. Who recently became a father. I mentioned that earlier in the broadcast, but in case you were not aware, Dark had a child. I'm honestly shocked he's playing this week because he like just last week had a kid. His opponent in the upper left-hand corner, as far as I know, does not have any children, and well, he's Protoss, so I think we're hoping to keep it that way. It is NightMare. I wonder if Dark's like personality is gonna change now that he has a kid. You know, he's been going for that villain arc for a while. Does he keep with that? I don't know. I've heard having a kid changes him. Sorry, honey, I can't take care of the baby. I gotta work to pay the bills. I mean, it's kind of true. It's kind of true, right? Like, if Dark wins today, I think first place is usually like 180 bucks or something. Like that's pretty good for a few hours of work. Hero's not playing. That's Dark's nemesis in these series, in these KSLs usually. That is true. Dark has his military service kind of impending. I wonder if he can delay that because he had a kid. Maybe that was the plan all along. You know? Get like a paternity delay. Like, oh, you just had a kid. Yeah, you can delay your military service for another 18 months or something. He's like, if I plan that just right, I can get some more StarCraft in. Maybe that's been the play the whole time. We weren't thinking. Dark's over here playing 4D chess. And we're still trying to set up the checkerboard. Dark used to be such a bully. Dark is, I think he was really good at playing into the bully, you know, having the bully attitude, but like really actually just being a sweetheart. A nice little opening here from NightMare. Already getting a couple of drone kills. Ling's heading across the map though. Trying to catch some of these adepts perhaps. When it's a Void Ray opening from NightMare. Don't see those all that often. Maybe NightMare's going to do that build that just killed Neuro. 2 Void Rays into a charge lot all in. It's a classic build. I feel like, again, though, that's the kind of build that you really don't want to do against Dark. Because you'll be like, okay, I'm going to do a charge lot all in. I have 18 charge lots. Let me go hit him. And then Dark's like, well, I have 15 roaches, 8 queens, and 12 lings. So you're just dead. I don't know what to tell you. I was actually on my way to attack you when the zealots hit. So thank you for bringing your army to me. Oh, and it's Glaives opening here for NightMare. Okay. A little Void Ray Oracle into a 4-gate Glaives. I always like a good Glaives build. But there's a Nidus on the way for Dark. Okay. No Roach Horn, so it's just going to be Queens and Lings in that Nidus for Dark. But he is going to do his darndest to kill NightMare. Now, Glaives can be quite good defending against this if NightMare is able to get a good handful of Glaive Adepts out. The problem is, if NightMare starts shading across the map, he could put himself in a dangerous position where he might end up losing a bunch of Adepts, and then Dark just has an immediate follow-up where he can Nidus across the map. It's a dicey spot. Baneling Nest is on the way for Dark, so he's recognized this is too many Adepts for it not to be Glaives. Ooh, NightMare, though. I don't know if he scouted the Nidus. Oh, yeah, he scouted the Nidus. The Shade went in, saw the Nidus, and he recalled immediately. And now he's just going to play defense. And this makes it so much harder for Dark. Now Dark, yeah, I think it's just time to drone up. Macro out of this. The Nidus is not a huge investment, and it is something he can utilize later on. But it looks like he's just going to head towards the Hive. He did build a lot of Zerglings that are just not going to be all that helpful right now. But if you look at this a different way, Dark stopped NightMare's Glaive Adepts from doing any damage. Right? So I guess in that way, this is like okay for Dark. Maybe not great for him, but it's all right. He didn't take any damage from the Adepts because he did all the damage to himself. And NightMare saw that and was like, I guess I'll just leave and keep these Adepts alive then. Bunch of gates going down here. Robo Bay finishing up for NightMare. You know what? He was like, that Colossus last game was so sick. I'm going to build more of those. Yeah. Dude, one Colossus had 51 kills. Imagine if he had 8 Colossi that each had 50 kills. There's no way Dark could compete with that. Just go 8 Colossi. That's the answer. The answer for Dark seems to be Swarm Host. He's like, I already have the Nidus. I might as well go for Swarm Hosts. Ooh, NightMare, I don't think he's going to spot this Nidus. I don't know if he's going to be expecting Swarm Hosts. They have been happening like a bit. There has been some Swarm Host play lately, but not a ton. And Dark is one of the few players that'll really go for it. And he is going to pop that first wave of Locusts. Get right in here. I do like the Stasis Trap to try to defend against this. There's the Colossus in here as well. Whew. Beautiful Stasis. Absolutely beautiful Stasis. Delaying any damage being done. RIP. One of the few things that Stasis does not stop is the timer on those Locusts. And that's really, really nice for NightMare. I don't want to understate how important it is to stop these Locusts from doing damage early on. The less damage these Locusts do in the first couple of waves, the harder it is for them to get damage done later on. So NightMare can just keep on building units, keep on building defenses. Locusts, a few of them landing a little early there to deal with the Stalkers. Some Stalkers will die. Ooh, the Colossi getting jumped on now. There's no defense for them. The shield battery's out of juice. That is a nice grab for Dark. He kills 2 Colossi before that overcharge turns on. Finally, those Swarm Hosts starting to pay for themselves. Surprised Dark hasn't dropped more Niduses. I feel like usually if you have a Swarm Host Nidus, you just like keep popping Niduses up left and right and left and right and center. He does break down those rocks. Dark going to try to attack through the middle. No Swarm Hosts here with this. A lot of times you want the Locust to kind of fight with this army. Maybe flank the army, but he's got another Nidus popping to the top side. NightMare. He's close to being able to see it, but he can't quite spot it. It's just out of range of both the Oracle and the army. But it doesn't look like there's anything in there. The Swarm Hosts are all to the bottom side. And they are going to try to come in and kill this. The overcharged shield battery turns on. Is that going to be enough to stop the onslaught from Dark? I feel like it is. It's a lot of healing juice. And the 2 new Colossi holding strong as Dark has to run away. This Knight is going to be found by the Void Ray. This is one of the really nice things the Void Ray can do, is just run around and deal with Swarm Host, or Niduses rather. It's actually why we saw, a big part of the reason we saw the Void Ray meta so prevalent when Void Rays were buffed. They were such a good way to deal with Swarm Host Nidus, which was incredibly popular against Protoss at the time and very difficult to deal with. Turns out Void Rays are pretty good. Ooh, but the Stalker's going to get on top of that Nidus. They do have to run away from the Locusts. But a few of these Swarm Hosts are stuck here now. NightMare trying to take some decent trades against a very high value unit. Looks like that Nidus will pop. Swarm Hosts, get out of there. And Dark, in the meantime, is heading towards Lurkers. He already has a couple on the way as their upgrades are being created. NightMare, though, a mothership just popped, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where it's at, but I saw it in the production tab, so there it is. And he does have 4 Colossi. I don't think there are any Vipers out right now to deal with those Colossi, so they are very strong. Colossi are really, really good. The problem is they do have that one massive weakness which is the Viper. So, like, 3 Vipers here. Even 2 full energy Vipers. And these Colossi just get yoinked and die, and that's just kind of it. But if that doesn't happen, they can be quite strong. NightMare needs to be careful, though. He's fighting right into Lurkers. Look at these Stalkers taking a ton of damage. They do not need to do that. It is not necessary. So I'm not sure what the mothership is. She's still back here. She is still back here. I guess she's just playing defense right now. Well, NightMare tries to push with the Blink Stalker Colossus. Ooh, the Night is Swarm back here. Can't kill the Swarm Host, but that one will get killed. But there's another one to the north side that's not dead just yet. Thank you so much for the raid. I can't read that, but I appreciate you. I hope you had a lovely stream. Whew. Man. Cat poop. Does not smell good. Need like an air freshener over there, bud. Can you light a candle or something? But it looks like NightMare has pulled the pressure off of Dark for now. It's a very tense game. He's going to push back in over here. Mothership goes back home. The Lurker defense for Dark, though, is looking quite good. It was Han Mono. That's who I thought it was. I figured it was Han Mono. But I didn't want to be wrong, you know? Because that would be racist, Han Mono. I don't want to be racist. I like you too much for that. Some Zealots in the main base. Just 3 of them. Just enough to be annoying. But at the same time, Loke is popping in here. They're going to try to get the kill on the Nexus. I think they will get the kill on the Nexus. Down it goes. But NightMare's got some carriers out. He's going to show these carriers. The Dark knows they're here. Dark up to 12 Lurkers. I feel like the 15 Swarm Hosts need to get traded out for something. Because there are 3 carriers out. There's 3 more on the way right now. 4th one pops. 5 and 6 are being produced. Dark needs something to deal with those. And right now, he's got a lot of supply in these Swarm Hosts, which they're good. I mean, they just killed a Nexus. That's a huge kill. But I feel like they need to do something else. They need to be something else. This supply is no longer very good for Dark. He's going to pop the Locust again. Just try to come in here, maybe trade out with some of this, but the army is nearby. The Locusts are not even really going to get anything done. Guess they'll go check if this base is here. It's not currently there, so. Good checking. Dark has so many Lurkers. 23 Lurkers. Dark has nothing that shoots up. I mean, he's got 27 Spore Crawlers at home. But he doesn't have any units that can actually kill these carriers. A couple of Vipers on the way now. So I guess Dark's plan is to be able to absolutely destroy this ground army. NightMare spots these Lurkers, so he will just not engage. But yeah, it looks like Dark's just going to try to hit top side, bottom side. He is working his way towards some Corruptors. He's already got double Spire, so he's got +2 attack and +1 Carapace on the way. Oh, I love the cloaking field here to defend. Such a good use of that. Yeah, those Locusts just get basically nothing done. And again, that's a lot of supply being used up by these 13 Swarm Hosts. I think they're 3 supply each, if I'm not mistaken. That's 39 supply in units that are... I mean, they haven't done anything in like 5 minutes since they killed that one base. Woo! NightMare just walks into those Lurkers. He is going to force them to retreat, but loses a lot of Stalkers to do so. I don't know if that was entirely worth it. Meanwhile, another Nidus pops up. More Locusts pop out. The Swarm Host just get on in and leave. Archons on the way now for NightMare. How did these Archons fare against the Locusts? Turns out not super great. Whew, that one just barely lives. One of them gets popped. Again, it feels like these Locusts are not getting as much done as they need to. I thought I had the upgrade tab open for a second because it was just upgrades in production for these players. But that's just where we're at in this game. It's just about getting the upgrades done. Dark knows he can defend with the Spore Crawlers, although this base and this base are feeling very exposed right now. NightMare just hasn't pushed across the halfway part of the map in a while. As I say that, it looks like he's going to head down here and try to clear this. And Dark is on 8 Corruptors. There are 6 carriers out. And 10 Archons. The 10 Archons is kind of insane. Like, what? Man, what's Dark going to do against that? I guess the Lurkers really deal with that super well. Archons are just not great against Lurkers. But that's still so scary for these Corruptors and these Vipers, which got to deal with not only the feedbacks, but also with the Archons. There's one feedback. The Yoink does come in, a Colossus, and the Mothership will go down. And Dark just trying to take some trades here. A couple of probes do fall to the top side. Finally, the Locust getting some more value in. Uh-oh. NightMare, where are you going? He's just going to walk forward here. Taking some damage from these Spore Crawlers, but not really caring about it. He's like, there's not enough Spore Crawlers for me to be worried. Dives in, kills a bunch of the static defense, and then just leaves again. Dark's bank is looking pretty massive, and he is replacing lost supply with more Corruptors. So he's building that Corruptor army little by little. Oh, this is a beautiful Zealot run by, though. Dark does not have any defense up here. That is going to be a dead Hatchery at the same time. NightMare trying to push into the bottom side. These Corruptors got to be super careful. They're right over top of the Archons. They're getting stormed as well. A lot of the Archons have fallen, but it feels like this base is just going to get targeted down, and down it will go. And now NightMare can just back on out of here. He just killed Dark's 5th and 6th bases, and he's got his own mining back at home. A bunch of drones going down as well, and it looks like NightMare is going to stick around. This is really dangerous, though. He's losing all the Archons, and now all of a sudden these Corruptors can dive on in here. Oh, they killed, I think, 1 carrier? No, they didn't even get the 1 carrier. Oh, never mind. The Parasitic Bomb followed the recall and does take that carrier down. And Dark going to go on the counteroffensive. He just lost 2 crucial bases. He has so little mining, but he does still have a massive bank, and he's going to try to push off the back of that and maybe take down some of NightMare's bases here. Ooh, no feedbacks. Parasitic Bomb does go down. Super Shield Battery turns on. Can the Lurkers take that out? They need to target that down. It's doing so much healing. Down it goes. Can the Corruptors win the fight against the carriers? I think they do. Only 2 carriers left. 1, and that is it. Ooh, this is so dicey. 3 more carriers on the top side, though. A big warp and a Stalkers here to try to help out, but the Locusts come into play again. Killing those Stalkers, allowing the Corruptors to beat the carriers. At least for now, killing 1 more. Knocking the carrier count down to, I was going to say 2, but it looks like 3 more just popped. So it is going to be 5 carriers still as NightMare continues to build those. But the problem for him is these Corruptors are going to build much faster. And Dark also building some Ultras to help deal with the Stalkers underneath. This game is getting kind of insane. I really thought NightMare had a good lead there for a little while, but now the Ling's getting into this base, killing a lot of the probes mining at it. Zealot Warping not quite enough to deal with it. It looks like these Lings are going to win the fight and keep on going. And at the same time, Locust coming in down here. I thought these Swarm Hosts were dead weight like 10 minutes ago, but here they are now, 21 minutes into this game, potentially killing a Nexus. Oh my god, that's a dead Nexus. And that's huge, because Dark also killed this one. He pulled the reverse card. He hit NightMare with the Uno reverse card. And as NightMare killed 2 bases, Dark turned it around, killed 2 of NightMare's bases. While he got his 5th back up and mining. A new 6th base here is going to be mining now. And now Dark's got Ultras, more Lurkers on the way. He's got 11 Corruptors to 8 Carriers. Still not a great army comparison there for Dark. But he does still have a couple of Vipers left for Parasitic Bombs and what have you. And Dark is maxed. NightMare is at 113 supply right now, and he's now seeing Ultras, which is not a good feeling. And those Swarmos, which again, I thought were just dead supply earlier, they're going to pop back out, launch another wave of Locusts, and even if they don't kill much here, at this point, killing anything is huge. They're going to grab one of the Immortals and almost kill a cannon. But again, they've paid for their weight in gold already. NightMare trying to take this base. He needs some mining right now. He is out of money. And he's like out. This is it. This is about all that's left for him. Only 36 probes as well. Very painful right now for NightMare. Dark, in the meantime, he's kind of happily mining on these 2 bases. Doesn't have like a ton of minerals left, but still more than his opponent. That mineral bank is starting to get up there. And Dark is just relentless with these Swarmos and the Nidus. There are so many cannons here. 12 cannons at this base. 5 shield batteries protecting it. Honestly, they've done a great job. The Swarmos have not been able to crack those cannons. Dark has just kind of avoided attacking into this base, so it's worked out so far. Let's see if it continues, as another wave of Locusts is about to come in here. As the army is on the north side, some Banelings rolling in as well. Gonna try to just get some splash damage off. Oh, and that's a lot of cannons going down. It was 12, and now it's 4. Super shield battery turns on to keep the last few alive, but it's down to 3. And the Ultras are here now, and 3 cannons and a few shield batteries is not going to be enough to deal with the Ultras. There should be a recall available for NightMare should he want to come down here and try to save this base. But it looks like he is just going to let it go and instead move for the counterattack and try to bust in here. He does have to be a bit careful, though. 16 Corruptors in the sky. Yoinks an Immortal. Can't quite finish it off, though. NightMare's army is still quite strong. It's still a dangerous army for Dark to contend with. I know the army supplies vary in favor of Dark, but remember, a lot of that's Swarmos. If it comes down to a fight and the Swarmos aren't there to pop Locusts to actually take the fight against NightMare, those army supplies are going to be very, very similar. And 8 carriers, you can't underestimate 8 carriers. There's a couple of storms available too, and or feedbacks, plus the Archons. Things can get real dicey real quick. But I feel like Dark's in a great spot. He's got his Spore Crawler Forest here as well. And he's got these Lurkers, which just make it so difficult for that ground army to do absolutely anything. NightMare is going to be forced to recall to deal with these Locusts because he just has to. He has to deal with the Locusts. He should be able to kill a few of these Swarmos here, but again, they've just paid for themselves over and over and over again. Even if they die at this point, it's been well worth it. Ultras are counterattacking in, knowing that there is no way to recall right now. NightMare is going to go in, push in at the same time. He works with some Stalkers back at home. They're like okay against Ultras. They do decent damage against them. But it is just going to take a little while. And it feels like NightMare is falling further and further back. Uh-oh. So Stalkers, they didn't finish the job. There's still a couple of Ultras here in the natural, just chomping away at stuff. Another Nidus pops up. Locust gonna pop out. Oh, they find some Archons. I think that's about all they'll find, but Still being annoying here, killing a couple of things at what once was a 5th base. Dark, in the meantime, is taking the lower left base, while NightMare is taking upper right.
Oh man, Chickenman. Wow.
Ling's trying to be annoying. Zealot's so far defending, but Dark is just in such command of this game. NightMare's army has, again, it's still good. Like, NightMare's army is still good and scary. His position just feels so precarious. There's 17 probes going down. Ah, to the Banes. Kanoya, thank you so much for the 9-month subscription. Welcome back. Thank you for the support. Whew. Dark grabs 1 carrier, grabs 2 carrier. He grabs 3 carrier. The feedback comes in, but that Viper was already out of juice. Corruptor count high enough to 1-tap these carriers, down to 5 of them. Does look like Dark's going to lose this base. He's just letting it go for now. Zealot's coming into this base at the same time. This is what put Dark in a bad spot earlier. He got hit on both sides and wasn't able to effectively deal with either. Lurker's trying to come up to deal with these Zealots. They will stop the base from going down, but 13 drones falling. This crucial base in the lower left goes down. There's a nice feedback on one of the Vipers. More Locusts do come in. I think they're going to quite be able to get the space. Actually, they might be able to. Ooh, it's close. Oh, they get it. Oh, my God. Locust DPS. Jeez. Kind of insane. Oh, now we got the Lings coming in. There are a couple of Archons in this base to help defend them. But NightMare is now really struggling. He does have 1 mining base. Dark's mining isn't exactly fantastic, but he has a bit more of a bank, and he is maxed. NightMare not really able to build anything else. He just doesn't have the money for it. 1 carrier gets recalled? Okay, this was to help deal with that Lurker. Wow, that is a 1 hit point Archon. It's not often you see a 1 hit point Archon, but we've got one here. Looks like Dark's going to be able to retake this base shortly. NightMare trying to take this one. That's such a bold base to go for. But I guess he feels like there's not too many options. Dark is going to spot it and kind of immediately force a cancel there. And NightMare, he's just running out of steam. He's running out of money. And the big problem for that is if he doesn't have minerals, he can't rebuild interceptors. And the Locust just getting even more value. I cannot believe so many of these Swarm hosts are still alive. There are still 12 of them. Out of the original 17 that Dark built. He built them all right away. And there are 12 left. We are 31 minutes into this game. That is insane. All right, GG Teddy Triple. You have a good night. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted. I really appreciate it. NightMare's like, I got some Zealots to deflect the Zergling counterattack. And Dark's like, what if I bring an Ultra and have like 53-3 Adrenalings? And NightMare just can't handle that. And then the moment he goes to do that, the Locusts come back in over here. And I think this is just going to be too much for NightMare. He's losing stuff he can't really afford to lose. Oh my God, this base is dangerously close to going down. The Locust. Locust. Oh, Locust DPS. It's too good. It's too good. Carriers will clean this up, but the Fleet Beacon goes down. And that's got to be it. NightMare, he's still got an army, but I don't think it's enough anymore. I don't think it's enough to even really scare Dark too much. Dark would have to make a massive mistake to lose this game now. Flying his clumped Corruptors over top of 5 Archons might do it.
Chickenman, 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 man.
I don't think Dark wants to find out. Free Savior. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Some more Bezos bucks. We love us some Bezos bucks. And despite an absolute slugfest of a match, NightMare now bringing his probes. I think this game is just about at its end here. Just about at the finale. NightMare's got like one more fight in him. And again, as long as Dark doesn't royally screw this up, I don't think NightMare can win this. He goes in. There's so many spores. There's so many lurkers. There's so many corruptors. They're not even in the fight yet. Parasitic bomb goes down on the carriers. The corruptors dive in, kill every single one. I mean, the Immortal's kind of winning this fight right now, but the Observer is gone, and that's GG as Dark takes the 2-1 victory over NightMare. Absolute banger of a series.